Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I am crafting with the APG Die of the Month from Spellbinders for July of 2022. And in this die set you can create really gorgeous shaped cards and panels if you want, but I took this die set. It's actually a combination of two dies, one that cuts the outer edge and one that just cuts the pattern into the paper. And I absolutely love this pattern. And another idea that I had to work with this pattern is to actually do some die cut inlaying with different colors and create just different patterns in that sort of diamond. It sort of reminds me of Argyle almost. And so out of this die cut, I actually saved all of the diamond pieces that fell out, and I'll probably use it on another card. But what I wanted to try for this card, though, was to actually create a full panel using this die cut. And so what I did was just a partial die cut from the same rose gold foil paper, and I just cut myself another little portion here, and I gave myself a little snip mark just so that I know where to cut, so that the solid top edge lines up with the top of my card, or not card, but excuse me, panel, because this panel I did already trim it down to size. So the width of this pattern paper is actually 3 3/4 of an inch wide, and since I'm putting this on and I cut that to match perfectly this decorative panel here, and so what I did was I trimmed the height so that it has an even border all the way around on my USA 2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this panel actually measures 3 3/4 by 5, so that leaves 1/4 of an inch around on all four edges. And yes, when you butt up the two die cut pieces, that pattern doesn't fully repeat. But if I had taken a little bit more care and actually butted up a little bit more cleanly, I think that little decorative, that little difference in the center where the two meet up, I could have done, I think, a better job of lining that up, and that little diamond that's created might have actually looked kind of neat, in fact. But it was always my plan to kind of cover it up anyways, so I didn't worry too much about getting the ends to meet precisely, because the die set actually includes some, these gorgeous sort of floral corners that you can use to embellish corners, but you can always snip into them as well. And sort of, to me, I was thinking they would be a little suggestive of like maybe climbing, like a climbing plant, and this is sort of a trellis. So that was the look that I was going for. The die set also includes flowers in multiple sizes so that you can layer them up. And so I've die cut them out, both the leaves and the flowers, out of sort of multiple different shades. So here, this is actually black, and it's meant to just serve as sort of a shadow layer, because I want my leaves to sort of fall back a little bit into the background. So I tried to choose some colors that more closely resembled the colors that are in my pattern paper, so that the leaves will just sort of fade a little bit into the background, so that my flowers can really pop, because they're going to be the only sort of splash of pink that's on this card. And while this die set does include some word dies, you get the words hello there, I actually needed a thank you card. So I went into my stash and I pulled out the bold thanks. I love this particular collection. I think I have several words now that are in designed the same way, where you have two dies, one that cuts the word out kind of plainly, and then another die that cuts the same word out, same size and everything, but it has some debossed diagonal lines. So you can use one on top of the other, you can use each independently by itself. Lots of different options for ways to mix and match them. But I love the font, I love the style, the debossing and everything. So I've been collecting these word dies every time they go on super clearance. So now comes the fun part of just arranging my florals. So my goal here is to get a really nice lush layered look, but I want to be very intentional about, even though I want it to look natural and organic, I do still want to be intentional about where I'm placing everything so that I actually cover up all of the seam where my two background pieces that are cut from the rose gold foil paper meet up. And that way it looks as if it's all one piece, but really it's not. And the word thank is already covering up most of that seam. So really just have a little bit along the two edges here that need a little bit of camouflage. And so that's why I've sort of snipped into these leafy vines here. And I'm just going to twist and turn them so that it looks like almost a climbing plant. And so it's going to sort of give the appearance that it's wrapping around a little bit the background there, but I'm using it to to really cover up whatever I can. And so with the black at the bottom, I'll put the green leaves on top just to make it look a little bit more sort of fresh and a little bit more vibrant, because I don't want that black to be so prominent. And I'm going to take a moment as I think over my plan here to assemble some of my flowers. So I've die cut them out of pink solid color cardstock, but also a lighter shade of pink glitter cardstock, so that I get a little bit of texture. And again, since the flowers are kind of the only splash of color that's outside of the background, it's I want that to stand out a little bit. So that's why I decided to throw in that little bit of glitter cardstock as well. And so I'm just going to continue to work my way around this. And I haven't placed down the word you. I haven't glued that down yet, because at the time I was still thinking about whether I want to confine the leaves and the flowers to just the borders, or if I want to try to bring some of that into the middle of the card where it looks like it might wrap around the sentiment a little bit. Ultimately, I decided against it. So then I'm just using my 3D Collal glue gel to adhere this, because the background has so many different layers of cardstock with that sort of lacy diamond trellis sort of pattern. And so with the glue gel, it's really helpful because you can just push that down to where you think it's level, and that glue will kind of ooze where it needs to ooze out and sort of level off. Whereas, and so the glue gel can adapt to the different layers of cardstock below and give a nice firm adhesion to the card base. And so with the leafy greens sort of placed around my borders, now I can just dot on my flowers. And I have multiple different sizes. I've only layered each up at most 2 times. And then I have a lot of the really small centers that I'll use as well. And again, I'm using my 3D glue gel because that actually gives me a lot of wiggle time if I need to um, nudge things around a little bit, if I don't like their placement, or I need to tuck some more flowers around or beneath it. So it's just helpful to have that open time. And I'm actually using some of these flowers to also hide seams where I have multiple layers of the leaves overlapping or butting up against each other, so you don't see those seams either. That way the plant itself looks a little bit more organic as well, and it isn't as obvious that it's multiple die cuts that have been butt up against each other. So here you can see, because that glue hadn't dried really at all, I was able to kind of change it up and add some more kind of layers and make a little bit more of a larger cluster of flowers there. So that's the nice thing with using something like the glue gel. Plus, you can also kind of give a little bit or as much dimension as you want by having a small or larger blob of glue. So that's helpful too. I just find it really easy to work with. And I like these small little flowers because those are cut from glitter card as well. And it's kind of nice just to dot those around here and there and just sort of sprinkle them across the greenery. So here's a final look at my card today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you want to catch new videos as I post them, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing the notification bell. Thanks so much. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.